Greetings from wherever you are. Welcome to this YouTube channel whereby we talk about nutrition and lifestyle. So if you're watching me for the first time, kindly consider hitting that subscribe button. For my returning subs, I don't take it for granted. Thanks for always supporting me. So in our today's video, we'll talk about the challenges of intermittent fasting. I know many people will not tell you this. Maybe you might think it's easy. You want to do it. Intermittent fasting is not easy. It is not for everyone. So intermittent fasting is several patterns of eating that includes regular periods of fasting. And fasting actually involves eating and drinking fewer or no calories. And there have been a number of health benefits linked to the intermittent fasting, actually including weight loss is one of them. We also have improved insulin sensitivity ama blood sugar. Pia tuko na lowered blood pressure, and also we have a decreased risk of heart diseases and even less stress. However, hapa tusikizane vizuri sasa. However, intermittent fasting is not for everyone. There are potential side effects of this type of eating style, and hizo side effects ndio I want us to discuss on this video, on our today's video. So we will discuss about the challenges that are faced with intermittent fasting, because I know many people will not tell you this, and maybe you might end up thinking that it is easy. Maybe you want to lose weight. You are not proud with your body, but maybe you opt for intermittent fasting, which is a good thing. But before you, actually in the last video I did about certain groups that are not entitled to practice this type of fasting. Na nilisema we have people with medical conditions. We also have pregnant and lactating mothers. We also have people of the old age wenye ni wazee, and na pia tuko na growing babies, maybe teens. Those are the teenage group. So intermittent fasting is not for everyone, and we will discuss about the challenges that are faced with it. So number one, let's talk about hunger and cravings. Kwa wenye wajui craving ni nini, craving is actually a strong desire for something. Cravings is a strong desire for something. And then hunger, hakuna mtu hajui hunger. Hunger ni ile yenye tunasema tunasikia njaa, kusikia njaa, it's hunger. So hunger and cravings is the first challenge you might encounter during your intermittent fasting. Sio kitu ya kushangaza. It's not that surprising that hunger is one of the most common side effects related to intermittent fasting. It is not. Because when you reduce your caloric intake or go for long periods actually without food, you may experience increased hunger. Hakuna mtu mwenye akikaa for long periods asikii njaa, especially kama umezoesha mwili yako kukula maybe in the morning, and then at saa 4 you take maybe an healthy snack, lunch time unakula, saa 10 pia you are eating a healthy snack, and then supper. So if you go for a long period without eating, you will experience increased hunger. So it is not surprising that hunger is one of the most common side effects during this type of fasting. And actually kuna research ya 2018 ilikuwa inaonyesha, ilikuwa ina involve 112 people. So the researchers waka-assign some participants to an intermittent energy restriction group. based on yenye ilikuwa based on gender, and each person consumed 400 to 600 calories on 2 non-consecutive days every week for a year. Now, these groups reported higher hunger scores. Like, they reported a higher number of increased hunger among themselves. So they reported a higher hunger scores, than the groups who consumed a low caloric diet with continuous caloric restriction. So that means hunger is a side effect many people might experience actually, but now it is during the first days of fasting regime. So it's a common thing, but now mwili unajua ulikuwa umezoea kukula ile now and then, so it is something yenye uta experience, but now as your body adapts to those regular fasting periods, ina resolve to yenyewe, so it's not a big deal. It will resolve itself, and mostly you'll experience it during the first days of fasting. So hunger and cravings is the first challenge. Now the next challenge yenye actually me nime experience, I think it was even yesterday, because jana I didn't take lunch but I experienced it. So this one is very common, very common, very common, and actually it is also during the first days of fasting, and that is headaches. So headaches are it's a possible side effect of any type of fasting. They typically occur during also the first few days of your fasting period, as your body is getting used to a new eating style. So ile kukula from in the morning, saa 4 you have an healthy snack, lunchtime umekula, saa 10 you have an healthy snack, supper umekula pia, and even we have some people who eat actually during the night. Mtu anaamka kwa njaa then yeye anakula tu. So mwili yako uzoea that pattern of eating, and now you are not happy with your body. You want to reduce your weight, and then now opt kuanza this intermittent fasting. So your body is switching from a different type of like ile mezoea feeding to a different style of eating. So you can experience headaches, and especially it is kuna researchers also suggest that low blood sugar and also caffeine withdrawal may contribute to headaches during intermittent fasting. So if you're addicted to caffeine, na kama uko na sukari yako kwa mwili wewe inashuka sana, you must experience that. But remember, we've said that if you have a medical condition, like hiyo tunaongelea blood sugar, of course that is diabetes. So if you have a condition, a medical condition, may it be long term or short term, you are not advised to do this kind of a fasting. So kuna research 2021, is it 2021? Siko sure with the year, but kuna research that it looked actually at 18 studies of people undergoing intermittent fasting regimes, and in the zilikuwa 4 studies actually. So in the 4 studies that reported side effects, some participants said they had mild headaches, and hizo headaches za the fasting, they actually experienced in the frontal region of the brain. So hapa mostly it is where you'll experience that mild headache. And it is actually mild pain or maybe at a moderate too. So what's more, people who commonly got those headaches are more likely to experience headaches during fasting than those who don't. So mostly kama umekaa na hiyo njaa actually, or maybe you've started that intermittent fasting, you may experience those headaches, na mostly zinakuanga on this region. So that is normal, and especially you might experience them mostly during the fast, also days of intermittent fasting. So headaches is a common side effect that comes up with intermittent fasting. And actually, many people will not tell you that. So you have to understand that it is not easy. You may experience this, but huwa zinaisha too, because your body will tend to adapt to that kind of eating style. And now the next challenge is about digestive issues. Digestive issues. That includes vitu kama, some people actually may experience diarrhea, indigestion, wengine pia hata wanapata nausea, and some may experience bloating. So digestive issues are side effects you might experience during intermittent fasting. So during intermittent fasting, that means of course reducing the amount of food you eat. Now that one may negatively affect your digestion, in maybe causing certain side effects like zenye tumesema. Plus the changes in your diet that occur with intermittent fasting may cause bloating and diarrhea for some people. So hapa tuko na option. If you experience digestive issues, choosing a nutrient dense food that is rich in fiber may help you prevent these digestive issues. So hapa chakula yenye kuna fiber kwa wingi itatusaidia if you experience these digestive issues. Now, fiber is very important in our bodies. Na most of us actually call it roughage. So fiber helps in digestion. Fiber also helps to control your blood sugar levels. Fiber also helps to control blood pressure. So fiber actually is very important. And some of the foods that are rich in fiber, we have dania, or the coriander. And dania, its fiber is on the stem and not the leaves. So wengi wetu tumezoea, ukinunua dania, ukikuja kupika, you just pick out the leaves and now you throw the stem. No, that's wrong. So the fiber in dania is on the stem and not the leaves. Na hiyo haimaanishi it's now because the fiber is on the stem, we throw away the leaves. No. You eat your leaves plus the stem. So the fiber is on the stem. Another food that is rich in fiber is green leafy vegetables like skuma. We also have pumpkin leaves. We also have spinach and stuff. About fruits, we have the oranges, we have tangerines, we have pixie, and we also have avocado, we also have thorn melon, and we have also even the pawpaws. Ziko mingi sana haziwezisha. So a diet that is rich in fiber will help you if you experience these digestive issues. So digestive issues is a common side effect you may experience during intermittent fasting, but now we have a solution on how you can deal with it. The other challenge is irritability and other mood changes, or maybe mood swings. So kama umezoea kukula actually, and I think kila mtu experience this one, kama uko na njaa sana, you get irritated so fast. Kitu mtu haja kufanyia tu ni ile umechoka, maybe uko kazi unaandika maybe for example files, uko njaa sana, unaambiwa kuna customer ameingia, hautaki hata kuongea, hautaki kazi nyingine until you eat fast. So irritability is a common irritability and mood changes is very common during this type of fasting. So some people may experience irritability and other mood disturbances when they practice intermittent fasting. So that is as a result of a low blood sugar. So but will actually it is not something surprising also to have mood changes. I think kila mtu ame experience that one. So here to explain sana because it is something that it's common among us. So you have to expect it during this type of intermittent fasting, especially kama umezoea kukula to like after every 3 hours you have something on your stomach. So kama uko na njaa sana, and I know most of us have experienced it. It is a common thing. Unaanza kuwa na mood swings, unakasirika, hutaki kufanya kazi anymore until ukule kwanza. So that is normal. And it is not a surprising thing. So irritability and mood swings, it is something that is very common during intermittent fasting. I hope you know that. So the next one is fatigue and low energy. Fatigue and low energy. Fatigue of course ni ile feeling ya unasikia umechoka, hakuna mahali umelima, hakuna mahali umefanya kazi mzito. Unasikia tu you're just tired and your energy is very low. Now, research suggests that some people practicing various methods of fasting, including the intermittent fasting we are talking about. So kuna research zenye zimeonyesha some people practicing hizo various methods of fasting actually experience fatigue and low energy. So kama uko na njaa, the moment you are angry, and especially when you have increased anger, that means your blood sugar levels go down. You'll have a low blood sugar levels. So low blood sugar levels can cause you to feel tired. Unasikia umechoka and even you feel weak. So kila mtu anajua ame experience hii. Saa yenye uko na njaa, of course you'll feel very tired, uko weak, you don't want to do anything. Hata unaweza fika saa yenye uko na njaa sana, actually maybe you're from work. Ukifika kwa nyumba na uko njaa sana, and then maybe let's say you live alone. Kuanza kupika, it's not easy. Unapata maybe mtu ametoka, maybe kwenye ametoka, you buy something, maybe you can buy a packet of milk and maybe bread. Ukifika kwa nyumba, unakula hiyo kwanza upata a bit of energy, ndio uanze kupika. So low blood sugar levels can cause you to feel very weak and tired. Plus, intermittent fasting may lead you to sleep disturbances in some people actually, which also can cause tiredness during the day. So that is something very important. That is something very common. Fatigue and low energy. However, pia kuna research ilikuwa inaonyesha intermittent fasting may actually reduce fatigue, especially as your body becomes adjusted to these regular types of regular fasting periods. So ikianza, of course, utaanza kufeel your feeling, yeah, you are very tired, uko na very low energy. But now as your body adapts to this kind of fasting, huwa inajiadjust, so unapata with time you'll stop feeling tired and na hauna nguvu. So that is something very common in intermittent fasting, fatigue and low energy, but you overcome it with as your body adapts to this. So the next challenge is about bad breath. Bad breath. So bad breath, actually, it's an unpleasant side effect that may occur during intermittent fasting. In some people during intermittent fasting, actually this bad breath is caused by lack of salivary flow and the rise of something you call acetone, A-C-E-T-O-N-E, acetone in the breath. So fasting causes your body to use fat fat for fuel. So acetone yenye naongelelea, it is a byproduct of fat metabolism. So it increases in your blood and breath during fasting. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Nimesema bad breath is an unpleasant side effect during fasting. It is not a good thing. So what's more, dehydration is a symptom associated with intermittent fasting. Na hii dehydration, it causes your mouth to dry, or it causes you to have a dry mouth, which may lead to bad breath. So bad breath is very common during intermittent fasting, and it is not a good thing. So, and not everyone will tell you about that. So it is something that you may experience during this type of fasting. So the next challenge is about sleep disturbances. So some people actually believe that sleep disturbances such as being unable to fall asleep or stay asleep are among the most common side effects related to intermittent fasting. So of course, kama uko njaa hauwezi lala. That one we can agree on that. Kama uko njaa hauwezi lala. So sleep disturbances. And actually kuna wengine pia wana believe fatigue may be more common, because in the initial days of intermittent fasting, you feel that fatigue and maybe having low energy. But mostly sleep disturbances are very common during this type of fasting. And as your body tries to adapt with it, utapata ina adapt, and then now you start maybe sleeping. But ukianza, it is not easy because kama umezoea kushiba, maybe umekula supper and now you sleep. But maybe for example, just imagine umekula around 3 p.m. and now ndio umefika kwa nyumba around 9 and you want to sleep, haujakula na haujazoea, it will not be easy for you. So lack of sleep, it's something very common. You'll experience it during intermittent fasting. And as I have said, many people will not tell you this. Wewe tu juu sasa unaona mwili yako is not good for you. You are not proud with your shape. You want to lose weight. Losing weight is a good thing actually, because when you have excess weight, you are prone to getting diseases like hypertension, getting diseases like also diabetes. Si kitu mzuri actually. But now there are things that come with these types of fasting, and those are the challenges. And no one will tell you this. Unaingia tu this, unataka kufanya intermittent fasting, but now with the challenges in it, you have to understand them before you start doing this type of fasting. Ndio ukiingia pale ukue mentally and psychologically prepared for that. Kama hauko mentally and psychologically prepared for it, it will be very hard for you. But kama prepare, you understand what intermittent fasting requires, you understand the challenges that comes with it, you'll be able. Now within a period of time, mwili yako inazoea that eating pattern. Na unakuwa uko sawa, and you will achieve your goal of losing weight. So sleep disturbances is very common during this type of fasting. And the next one is, we'll talk about dehydration. Dehydration is a common side effect during intermittent fasting. Now, during the initial days of intermittent fasting, the body releases large amounts of water and salt in urine. So, if this happens to you and you don't replace the fluids lost, you could become dehydrated. Maybe dehydration, maybe you can experience it. I mean, unaona mtu kama kuna a dry mouth. Kama ni watoto, kuna wenye wako na a sunken fontanelle. That is dehydration. Now, dehydration is not good because actually it affects your kidneys. So dehydration is a common side effect during this type of fasting. People practicing intermittent fasting may actually forget to drink or may not drink enough water. That's for sure. May forget to drink water, or enough water. So, and actually this can be especially common when you are first beginning your intermittent fasting journey. So si ati ni kitu uta experience ukishaanza na uko mbele, no. It's something that is actually experienced during the first days of your intermittent fasting. So to stay properly hydrated, drink water throughout the day and monitor the color of your urine. So drinking enough water, of course, we say 2 to 2.5 liters in a day. So dehydration is very common in this type of fasting. So you have to stay well hydrated to protect your kidneys. And the last thing I'll talk about, or the last challenge I will talk about, is malnutrition. Because if intermittent fasting is not done properly, it can lead you to malnutrition. So you have to be very keen. You have to see someone who well understands about the intermittent fasting, ndio kuelezea on how it goes. Because if you don't do it the right way, you can end up being malnourished. So if you do very long fasting periods and you don't replenish your body with enough nutrients, nataka hapa tuelewane. If you do very long periods of fasting and you don't replenish your body with enough nutrients, you could become, or you can become, malnourished. And the same goes for if you don't manage well a restricted caloric diet. People are generally able to meet their calorie and nutrient needs on various types of intermittent fasting programs. However, nataka mnisikiza hapa. However, if you don't plan or practice your fasting program carefully over a long period, or you deliberately restrict calories to an extreme level, you might become malnourished along with other health complications. That's why it's important to consume a well-rounded, nutritious diet while doing intermittent fasting. Make sure you never overly restrict your calorie intake. So probably a healthcare professional who experienced an intermittent fasting program can help you come up with a safe plan. Tuko pamoja? Anaweza kusaidia to come up with a safe plan that provides an appropriate number of calories and the right amounts of nutrients for you. So malnutrition is the last challenge that I've discussed in our today's video. I hope now you are all rounded with the challenges that come with intermittent fasting. It is not an easy thing. And I hope today you have learned that it is not for everyone. Losing weight is something very important if you are especially overweight or obese. But doing intermittent fasting is not easy. You have to understand the challenges of intermittent fasting so that you may make a decision whether to start or not. So guys, thanks a lot for watching this video until the end. If you're watching me for the first time, my name is Ken and I am a certified nutritionist. I also do content about nutrition in my channel. Kindly consider subscribing to the channel for more nutritional information. And for my returning subs, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the support. I don't take it for granted. Let's meet in the next video. Bye bye.